A lot of t-shirts with logos on them.
G'day world, Chris Hogan coming to you live from Rise Conference here in Hong Kong, thanks to our partners Invest HK. And I'm here with Casey Lau, who's the co-host of Rise. How are you, Casey?
Good. Great to be here. I better be here, actually. This is the job.
Mate, we're on our third day, last day for Rise.
Yeah.
And man, it's been a fantastic experience. How is the vibe in the room?
The vibe is incredible. It's just amazing. I think this is our biggest one yet, and I think everybody's having a great time, or they're just really enjoying World Cup, and I don't know. So it's one or the other.
And it's round 4 for you guys in Hong Kong, is that
Round
right?
4, yep, 4th year. It's grown. I think it's grown like, the center stage, which we're right in front of, was at least 25% the size of what it is now. That's how big it's grown over 4 years, yeah. So, and there was a big queue to get in on day one, so it's very exciting, yeah.
About 15,000 attendees, something like
15,000 attendees, 100 plus countries. This is the conference, I think, that is the most open for everybody around the world to come learn about Asia. So I think that's the best thing. We got lots of mainland Chinese speakers, Japanese speakers, everybody from around the region, as well as people from the US and Europe speaking, and just just exchanging ideas and seeing the opportunities that are available to both sides. So that's why I'm very happy of how Rise has grown. And I think the interest level in Asia is at its peak right now, with China doing all this crazy new stuff, and people want to know what's going on and how can they be part of it.
So, Hong Kong, center of Asia, or is somebody else vying for that top spot as well?
Okay, so this is how I say it, right? Beijing is the Silicon Valley of Asia, for sure, right? There's a lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of high-tech, new stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else in Asia. Hong Kong, I like to think, is the center point of Asia in terms of that it's a more international city. I think that a lot of people come here, are happy to come here because it's very easy to get around. People speak English. It's very convenient. It's the most convenient city I've ever been to. I travel around a lot. It's the most convenient city to get from the airport, to get to the convention center, to meet people, hail taxis, all this kind of stuff. So it's very great, and I think that's why Hong Kong is the center point. And last night we have drinks for the startups, and the backdrop is the Hong Kong skyline, right? With all the lights and the big buildings, and people just love that. A lot of pictures, a lot of selfies going on. So all this stuff comes together to make an exciting experience for attendees.
Fantastic. And so we were talking earlier about how do people actually get the best out of coming to a conference like this?
Yeah, so I think that is one of the things that startups need to learn a little bit about, right? You come here, you get a booth, that's not really the end of the whole experience, right? It's how do you interact with people? And one of the best things that the founder of Rise, Patty Cosgrave, has kind of created is this way for people to network, right? How do we get together closer? So the lanyards, for instance, that you're wearing now with your name, it's a specific length. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's almost difficult to get around your head because the name badge is very high up, the name. So when I'm talking to you, I don't have to look down at your stomach for the name, right, which is normal for these kind of places. So I got it very easy, so I can glance down, see your name, how's it going? So it's much more easy, and so we're pushing together to meet people.
I was told that it's cool to wear it like this because then people can call out to you.
Your name
Hey Chris. And I'm like, what?
No.
How did you know my name?
No, I think it's very exactly. It's like, who's calling me now? No, I think it's great because when we also there's a way that all the booths are lined up, so we know the traffic is going to be tight, so that you're going to be walking to people, so you'll be close to proximity to people, and you're like, oh, hey Chris, how's it going? I don't know who you are, but let's talk. And just that kind of networking is very important. So I think for startups, the most important thing in coming to a conference is not the talks, it's not the booth, it's just getting out there and networking with people. And so first name basis thing, everybody feels super friendly already, right? And we have an amazing app that allows you to schedule meetings and reach out to people before you meet them and see if they want to meet up, and they can take a look at who they are. Oh, this person's in my vertical, or this is an investor I want to meet, or a startup I want to meet. It's much easier that way. So I think that is a very important part, and the fact that this event doesn't end at 5 o'clock when the center stage closes. It goes on until midnight, 2 or 3 in the morning, right? So, and that's where a lot of the deals are done. That's where a lot of the new friendships are made. So these are the kind of things that you need to think about when you start planning a trip to a conference like Rise. You don't just think, okay, I'm going to do the booth and then I'm going to go back to sleep or whatever. It's like you got to have a shift for the morning and a shift for the night, right? When you get an alpha booth here, you get 3 tickets. So hopefully one and a half people are running in the morning and 1.5 people are running in the evening, right? So it's a non-stop thing. And then plus you have to deal with a World Cup if it happens to be happening at the same time as this kind of conference, right? So
what better city to actually see World Cup in, especially when England's playing, this, ex-English colony. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a big thing. Yeah, so it's quite fun, and I think, I mean, some of the parties may have been a bit light last night because people were taking naps. right? Getting ready to get up early in the morning. So that's great, but that's part of the experience, right? And you get up and everyone's on the street still. So the city it's just the vibe is just great. So just make sure that if you're a startup coming to an event like this, that you're ready to network. And if you're not good at networking, maybe you're practicing or you're working on your networking skills. But we do help, hopefully, we make it easier for you to meet people.
So you're really harping on the networking, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
Now, how important is it, do you think, that people focus on doing deals here? Is it more important to do the deal or more important to create the relationship?
That's a great question. I think that is the thing. So some startups are very pushy trying to raise money, right? They see a guy with an investor badge, they'll go, hey, you want to hear my pitch? No, I don't. I've heard like 1,000 pitches, I don't need another pitch. So that's another great thing for startups to learn. You need to start building relationships, and this is the place to do it. Having a beer, learning and knowing people, getting to like you, getting to understand what you're working in, that is the most important thing, and that's what I think it's all about here, especially if you're early stage, right? They don't know you, right? It's like dating. You gotta take it slow, get to know each other, and that relationship might grow over a year. Like you may see them next year, and that's when they might write you a check. The idea is that you grow and let them know how you're doing. This is a very important part. A lot of people don't understand because they're very aggressive. Like they need money now. So they're very aggressive, and no investor likes to hear that. So it's definitely about building relationships. And that is what it's all about. That's why it's almost more important to be here in the evening than it is to be here in the day. Because the day you're learning, you're writing notes, you're taking into account, you're learning and hearing from great entrepreneurs and investors of what they're looking for. Take that in, go out at night, and just be casual, just be friendly, just be yourself. And then make sure you find the people who are in your verticals, and then continue to maintain a relationship with them on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever. They'll remember you, and that's a very good place to build a relationship, because here you're not going to be able to meet these kind of people anywhere else, right? We've got people coming in from all over the world. Not until next year you probably won't see them again, right? And so the building in your network is very important.
Fantastic. And so where else are Web Summit actually hosting these types of events?
Yeah, so everybody asks me at the end of tomorrow, usually, at the end of day 3, they'll ask, Casey, when's the next one? And I'm like, the next one is called Web Summit, and it's in Lisbon, Portugal in November, right? And after that, there's another one called Collision, and it'll be in Toronto next year in May. So there's non-stop conferences that are of this quality, but focus on different regions, right? So that's where a lot of us will be in November. We'll be in Lisbon for what I call the mothership, right? So this is a huge conference here in Asia. That is the super conference.
And behind us, you said earlier that this changes all the time. What's the biggest threat facing the world? And you must put different topics up here every event. Yeah,
every event, yeah. But this is the one we keep for the day, and we let the. It's very old school, analog idea here, where you get a sticker and you put it where you think. But it's always very insightful when people walk by. They're like, oh, this is interesting of what the questions are and what the reaction is, right? For instance, this one, inequality is like the most filled out one over what is the biggest threat facing the world. So this is very interesting, because if you put this in Lisbon, it might be a different answer, right? So I like no, it's very simple, but it's quite effective.
Do these help shape future events at all?
Absolutely. This is like our own market research of what's happening in the conference, definitely.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. Analog, why not? We're also, why not?
Yeah.
And the app's fantastic for relationship building. I do appreciate it. And actually didn't know that it was going to exist until we got here. And it's like, oh, wow, that takes a bit of...
The app has taken a long time to get to the point where it is today, but we've had many conferences to iterate it, make it better and better and better. But this year, I think it's like perfect. It hasn't crashed. The messages are there. Everybody's happy and connecting, so it's great.
And what's happening, apart from, I guess, drinks at pubs and stuff like that and watching the football, what else do people do when they come to a conference like this? Do they actually get out and do treks to like Lantau Island, for example?
Another great question, because we actually do all that stuff too. So besides this official events organized by Rise, I'm also based here in Hong Kong, and I manage a lot of the relationships of the startup community here. So I invite them, all the different associations and communities, to create Fringe Events so that you can experience Hong Kong a bit more, but with other startups. So on day 1 evening, we started the Startup Ferry. So you're not going to have time to ride the Star Ferry around the harbor. So we put on a ferry ride. We throw some beers and put all the startups on there and go for a cruise around the harbor. Some people would like to go hiking, because we got some amazing scenery here. So yesterday morning, they did Startup Hike. So one of our renowned founders, Yatsu from Outblaze, he organizes this. He wants to take people up to the peak at 7 in the morning, and it was sold out. So you can do a nice, beautiful morning hike and see Hong Kong from the top of one of the greatest Hong Kong founders. And then we do all these other different events at nighttime we have to show off what's going on in Hong Kong. So basically you're never bored. There's no way you're sitting in the hotel room wondering what's going on. You just have to turn on the app or turn on Twitter and you'll see what's going on across the city. So that's why when you come here, you really need to sleep a lot the week before and then the week after, right? Because this is the place to take advantage of all the stuff that we put together, and it's really like a festival for startups and technology that we just want everybody to enjoy and experience.
Fantastic, man. Where do people keep up with the next events and what's happening here?
Yeah, so basically just riseconf.com is the website, and then Twitter, Instagram, the whole thing. And then, at the end of today, we'll announce the dates for next year and also release early bird ticket prices. So keep on, if this is live or going to be out before the end of the day, then keep your eye on that for that.
Fantastic, man. Great talking to you.
Great, excellent. Thank you very much.
Loved being here, guys. It has been dynamic, has been fantastic. Relationships in the room, from my perspective, have been awesome. Well worth the trip. And we'll see you again soon on facebook.com/Beach City Life. We're also on YouTube and LinkedIn. Just search for Beach City.